Usyk is the greatest of all time. Joe Rogan speaks on Oleksandr Usyk few. Figures in sports media have the global reach and influence of Joe Rogan, whether through his commentary work with the UFC or his massively successful podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. His voice resonates across sports, culture, and global discourse. So when Rogan declares someone the greatest of all time, it turns heads. Recently, Joe Rogan delivered a bold and electrifying take on the state of modern boxing. Not about Tyson Fury, not about Canelo Alvarez, not even about legends like Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. Instead, he directed his praise toward a Ukrainian technician who has slowly, methodically, and emphatically carved out a legacy in boxing that is now impossible to ignore. Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk is the greatest of all time, Rogan said, voice brimming with excitement on his podcast. I don't care what era we're talking about. You watch what he does in the ring. The footwork, the IQ, the courage, the precision. It's different. It's like watching a grandmaster play chess with heavy gloves on. The claim may be controversial. It may even be provocative. But is it unreasonable? As we unpack Rogan's statement, one thing becomes clear. Oleksandr Usyk's career isn't just great. It's historically unique, profoundly inspiring, and deserving of serious discussion in the GOAT greatest of all time conversation. From amateur sensation to Olympic gold, to understand the magnitude of Usyk's achievements, we must begin at the foundation. His amateur career. Oleksandr Usyk was born in Simferopol, Crimea, a region caught in geopolitical turmoil but rich in athletic tradition. Before turning professional, Usyk had already compiled one of the most decorated amateur careers of his generation, including wins over top future professionals and a stellar international record. His crowning achievement in the amateur ranks came in 2012, when he won the Olympic gold medal in London in the heavyweight division. Fighting under the Ukrainian flag, Usyk displayed a level of composure, ring generalship, and athleticism that stood out even in a field packed with talent. Greater than people don't realize, Rogan said, how disciplined and precise Usyk had to be to win that gold. That's not just talent. That's years and years of perfecting the craft. Conquering the cruiserweight division, turning professional at 26, Usyk entered the cruiserweight division with a simple but brutal objective. Dominate. And dominate he did by 2018. Just 15 fights into his pro career, Usyk had unified the cruiserweight division, becoming the undisputed champion, the first in the four-belt era. He defeated Krzysztof Gavatsky, Mariusz Bredis, and Murat Gassiv, all on away soil. That's right, Usyk, the visiting fighter, traveled to Poland, Latvia, and Russia to fight and beat local heroes on their home turf. It wasn't just that he won, it's how he won. Usyk dismantled world-class fighters using a dazzling combination of angles, volume, and movement that seemed to defy the physics of a 200-pound man. Greater than the guy moves like a lightweight, Rogan said. He's 6'3", he's 220, and he fights like Lomachenko's big brother. I've never seen anything like it. By the end of 2018, Usyk was named Fighter of the Year by nearly every major boxing outlet. He had conquered cruiserweight. There was only one mountain left to climb. Usyk's leap to heavyweight. David versus Goliath. Reimagined in 2019, Oleksandr Usyk announced he would move up to the heavyweight division, a class long defined by giants. Skeptics laughed. Analysts warned of the dangers. Could a slick southpaw technician really hang with the big men? Usyk didn't care. He saw it as a challenge worth pursuing. He didn't bulk up recklessly. He didn't abandon his style. Instead, he slowly acclimated, kept his signature movement intact, and prepared for the war ahead. That war came in the form of Anthony Joshua, the British boxing icon and former unified heavyweight champion. When they faced off in September 2021, Usyk was a clear underdog. Joshua outweighed him. He was taller. He had more knockout power. The fight was in London, in front of a roaring British crowd. Everything seemed tilted in Joshua's favor. But what happened was a masterclass. Usyk didn't just beat Joshua, he outboxed, outsmarted, and outclassed him. He neutralized Joshua's power, disrupted his rhythm, and closed the show in the final round like a man possessed. Greater than that performance against Joshua. That was art, Rogan said. He made one of the best heavyweights of this era look confused. That's GOAT stuff. Usyk followed up that victory with a rematch win in 2022. This time with even more poise. He silenced the critics who thought the first fight was a fluke. He was now the unified heavyweight champion of the world, holding the WBA, IBF, WBO, and the ring titles. The final test, Tyson Fury and Undisputed Glory in May 2024, Usyk faced his greatest challenge yet. Tyson Fury, the Lion heavyweight champion and holder of the WBC belt. This was it, a chance to become the first undisputed heavyweight champion in the four-belt era, and the first since Lennox Lewis unified the division under the old three-belt system. At 6'9", Fury had every physical advantage imaginable. He was heavier, longer, and more experienced at heavyweight. Many believed his unorthodox style would baffle Usyk, but once again, Usyk rose to the occasion. After a tense and technical first half of the fight, Usyk surged in the later rounds, hurting Fury and nearly stopping him in round 9. Though the final scorecards were close, Usyk was declared the winner by split decision, making history as the undisputed heavyweight champion. Greater than that fight cemented it, Rogan said. You go from cruiserweight to beating the best heavyweight on earth. In this era, that's not just great. That's all-time stuff. That's legend. Skill over size. The Usyk revolution. What makes Usyk unique and perhaps worthy of GOAT conversation is that he has consistently beaten men who were bigger, stronger, and more powerful. And he didn't do it with brute force. He did it with intellect, angles, and footwork. Boxing has always admired heavy hitters. Ali had his jabs. Tyson had his hooks. Lennox Lewis had his right hand. And Deontay Wilder has nuclear power in his right glove. But Usyk is part of a rare breed, a cerebral technician who weaponizes subtlety. His ability to manipulate space, control, tempo, and outthink opponents is unparalleled in modern boxing. He can fight on the outside, slip into the pocket, land combinations, and escape before the counters land. He's also a master at reading his opponent. Watch any Usyk fight closely, and you'll see a pattern. Early rounds are data collection. He probes, he tests. And then, by round 6 or 7, he begins to dismantle. He fights like he's solving a puzzle, Rogan said, and he always finds the answer. A warrior beyond the ring, perhaps. Part of what elevates Usyk's greatness is what he represents outside the ring. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, Usyk returned home to support his country. He enlisted in a territorial defense battalion and helped raise awareness globally for Ukraine's struggle. He paused his training. He risked his life. And he showed the world that being a champion isn't just about belts. It's about values. You talk about courage. That's real courage, Rogan noted. It's one thing to fight in the ring, but to go back into a war zone and stand with your people. That's what legends are made of. Even in the build-up to the Fury fight, Usyk carried the Ukrainian flag with him into every press conference, every win, every ring walk. He wasn't just fighting for glory, he was fighting for something bigger. The GOAT debate. Where does Usyk stand? Of course, the label greatest of all time is subjective and controversial. The boxing world has seen legends in every era. Muhammad Ali, social icon, heavyweight champion, unparalleled charisma. Sugar Ray Robinson, the prototype for pound for greatness. Floyd Mayweather, undefeated tactician with unmatched defense. Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history and a cultural phenomenon. But here's where Usyk's case stands out. He's an undisputed champion in 2 divisions, cruiserweight and heavyweight. He's undefeated. He's won major, fights on away soil, often as the underdog. He's conquered the deepest and most dangerous divisions in modern boxing. He did it, all while carrying the burden of representing a nation at war. I know people will say, what about Ali? Or what about Floyd, Rogan said. But watch Usyk. Just watch him. He's a genius, a warrior, and now he's undisputed in 2 divisions. That's something no one else has done like him. What comes next for Usyk? At 37 years, old Usyk's time in the ring may be nearing its final chapters. After the war with Fury and a lifetime of wear and tear, retirement may not be far off. And if he never fights again, his legacy is already secure. But there are still challenges. On the horizon, a rematch with Fury could be in play. Rising heavyweight contenders like Filip Hrgovic, Jile Jong, and Jared Anderson may want their shot. And of course, the boxing world would salivate at a hypothetical fight with the prime Anthony Joshua trilogy. Should the stars align, whatever Usyk chooses to do next, he does it as an undisputed champion, a national hero, and, in Joe Rogan's eyes, the greatest of all time. Final thoughts. Legacy written in footwork and fireweather. You agree with Joe Rogan or not? The truth is this. Oleksandr Usyk has done things in boxing that defy logic, expectation, and gravity itself. He's not the biggest. He's not the loudest. But in terms of pure mastery, courage, and accomplishment, he may be unmatched on in an age of gimmicks and hype. Usyk is the rare warrior who lets his fists, feet, and finesse speak for him. He doesn't need to shout.